Welcome back to the Baseline with Kyle E. Lewis. This week's edition of Young Guy Radio takes me once again back to college in a very, very interesting night. My buddy Karlos. Karlos, he's a little dude, and when he gets a little liquor in him, he doesn't exactly know how to act. You know, he makes wild proclamations. I mean, he just does whatever he thinks. One night we're coming out of a friend of ours, my brother, his eventual wife's apartment, which happened to be in the projects because she had a good deal going on, and I ain't mad at her for doing so. And we're like, hey, yo, Karlos, get in the car, man. Get in the car. We're in the middle of projects. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Get in the car. Fuck that. I ain't going in that place. I'm like, nigga, get your ass in this car. Get in this car before some of these bras come out here and beat you down. So we took his little ass and shoved him in the trunk and went back to the crib. These are the things that happens with Karlos when he's got some liquor in him. You know, one time he was sitting down looking at his computer and, he had a Mac. And out of nowhere, he screams, yo, man, I'm an Apple man. Fuck Adele. I'm like, what is the purpose of saying that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? So Karlos, he was going through some things, man. He was going through some things. He'd broken up with his girlfriend. He'd had a lot of, issues emotionally with what was going on. She was text messaging this dude on his bed, and he was all broken up about it. And we gonna make this right, man. We gonna make this right. So there was this girl, a real cute girl. We were seniors at the time. She was a freshman, and she was hip to Karlos. She was hip to Karlos, and if he said jump, she would say how high. That's how hip she was to him. And he had no idea. We knew, but he had no idea. So we went out to the movies, came back to the crib, and we started drinking Everclear. Now, the girl, we didn't know that she'd never, had a drink before. It was her first time having a drink. So she's drinking the Everclear, and she was taking it like a trooper. Like a trooper. The rest of us are sitting up there sweating like hell. That Everclear, it hits your body, man. It makes your soul quiver and your nuts shrivel up. That Everclear do some duty on you, you know what I'm saying? We was all shitting castor oil in the morning. That's how that Everclear get to your body. So she was taking it, and she was a trooper. She wouldn't move. He was like, oh, we like her. We like her. Karlos, he was falling all over the place, man. He was falling all over the place, saying all kind of crazy stuff. Well, the girl, she had to go to the bathroom. She got up, and we thought she was strong. This nigga fell right on the goddamn floor. Right on the goddamn floor. The fat ass, and she was a runner, too. So she had nice calf muscles, and her ass, her ass was round. It was nice. She was tiny, but she was built like a brick shit house. Loved it. She eventually picked her silly ass up off the floor and went into the bathroom and did her business. Now, we couldn't take her back to her dorm because she happened to be, a little bit underage, so it wouldn't have been right for us to take her back there. It would have been very, very wrong because she would have gotten in trouble and maybe we would have gotten in trouble. So Karlos is like, yo, you can stay with me tonight. And Karlos hadn't had none in a long time. So we were hoping, me and my brother were hoping for the best that Karlos get to smash something that night. So he goes in there, and things get quiet, and everybody calms down. We done thrown up enough, and I'm sitting at my computer, which was right next to, my room was next to Karlos's room, and I always kept my door open just in case somebody was coming in or somebody needed something or anything like that, because motherfuckers want to come to me when they got questions and shit for some reason. I'm like I know everything, but whatever. But I'm sitting there messing around with my music, and I hear this bumping on the wall. I'm like, what in the hell? So I turn down the music, and I'm like, all right, I'm bugging. It's the Everclear. I'm starting to hallucinate and shit. Turn my shit back up, and then I hear it again. So I turn down the music real fast, and I'm like, yo, am I bugging? And I hear it. I'm like, yo, is he smashing her in there? Now, granted, at this time, it's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, all right, cool. Couple minutes go by. He comes out, Karlos comes up out of his bedroom. And he peeks in, he looks at me, and he shakes his head, and I'm like, all right, maybe he wasn't smashing. Maybe he was moving something or something. I don't know what was going on in there. So he went in the bathroom, and he was in there for maybe about 10, 15 minutes. I wasn't sure what he was doing. Goes back in the room. About 10, 15 minutes later, you hear the banging again. I'm like, all right, he's got to be smashing her. And then you hear the moan. So I'm like, oh, snap. That's what I'm talking about. My boy's in there finally putting in some goddamn work. He deserves it. So I grabbed my brother. My brother, he was with his girlfriend, his wife now. And I was like, yo, turn on the TV. You got to hear this shit. Put the ear up against the wall because Karlos' room was up against the common area. Put the ear up against the wall and we heard him just smashing the shit out of this girl. Smashing the shit out of her. So night ends, we splouting each other up, My brother's girlfriend and now wife was disgusted with us. She's like, why would you be so excited about, that girl's getting demolished in there? It's like, yeah, she's getting demolished in there and our boy is doing it. Props to him. So next morning, Karlos gets up and the girl, she's got a final and it's raining outside. That nigga made her walk home. He done smashed the shit out of her and made her walk home. I'm like, what kind of shit? So we couldn't let her walk home. My brother took her back to her dorm so she can get her shit straight and, go take her test. So I asked him, like, Karlos, what happened, man? And it's like, I didn't think you was getting it in like that because you came out there and you had that look on your face. He's like, hey, man, this is what happened, right? I took her in there and, she was falling all over the place because she couldn't quite handle her liquor the way that I thought she could. And I was like, nigga, you tripping. You couldn't handle your damn liquor. Continue with the story. It's like, all right, man, whatever. I put her on the bed. And she said, I don't want to sleep in my jeans. Can you got some shorts or anything for me to sleep in? He was like, bet. She ain't had no drawers on. And it was built like a fist. And not like a normal fist. Not like a fist that you see on a 16-year-old boy. This was like Evander Holyfield's fist. This shit was tight. And it was clean. Not a hair there. It was amazing. It was like the light of God came down and was shining on this vagina. And I said, I must ravage this. So that's what I did. I ravaged it. But I had to take a piss. And the instances when you have to take a piss, and you get up and you go to the bathroom and you stand there and you look at your dick for a couple minutes and be like, come on. But you got that hard on, so you can't do that hard on piss. You can't do the hard on piss. So you sit there and you talk to your dick. You try to talk it down, It's at the edge it's at the ledge and you got to talk your dick down from the ledge so you can go back in its room and do what it's supposed to do. So after talking it down for about 15, 20 minutes, I took that piss. But you also know when you take that piss, mid-sex, that means you're going to destroy some shit later on. Because you got no feeling in it anymore. And you can just go to town. So that's what I did. I destroyed her. But there was something else. It was tight as a fist because nobody had been in it before. And I popped her cherry. There's blood on my sheets. I said, what do you mean there's blood on your sheets? He's like, there's blood on my sheets because I popped her cherry. Wanted to put it in her ass. But her asshole was too tight. It kept popping out. I was like, this is what we do? This is what we do. He's like, yeah, it was nice though. And then I made her ass walk home. I was like, my brother took her home, man, but you's a fucked up individual for doing so. He's like, yeah, but I got my rocks off and I fucked her for 3 hours straight. I was like, nigga, you going to hell.